So the more successful that I get, the more examples of success that I publicize, the more I have people in my life coming to me and asking, how did you do it? And my answer is always the same, and seldom does somebody actually want to hear it, which is, how many coaches do you have in your life? It got me thinking. I started really examining my life and the course of action I took, because I've been a perpetual quitter. It's hard for me to stay consistent. I struggled in school. I get bored with things, so I move on. I've got shiny object syndrome, or, it's the attention span of a teenage squirrel. I had to look back and reflect even on things I enjoyed to see that there was a pattern of mentorship and coaching that helped me elevate to the next level. And we decided to go ahead and take a look at statistical data points in order to say, well, how much more likely is somebody to follow through with something? I played the cello for 10 years. You have to be passionate about something to involve that much time. And yet I just never practiced. And somehow through the process of really struggling to stay consistent with my day-to-day practicing, I still managed to get to second chair cello in the Boulder Youth Symphony when I was just a youngster. I played from the age of 4 to 14 years old until it wasn't cool anymore, basically. And the reason I was able to achieve those levels of success with the cello, even though I really didn't do what I was supposed to do every day, was because I had accountability partnerships that forced me to be consistent with it, even if I was procrastinating, even if I waited until the last minute. Because every week I knew I had that lesson coming up. I knew I had to have a meeting with my mentor. And Jorgen de Lemos was one of the most world-renowned cellists, also the conductor of the Boulder Youth Symphony while I played there. Very interesting fellow, was missing his first finger on his bow hand, and he would point to everybody with his middle finger. It was very intimidating, harsh Austrian accent, and man, did he come down on you. So it would really push me to, even if I procrastinated, really set aside time before our lesson to cram and to get as much in at the last minute as I could. Had I not had him, I would have never practiced. I would have never made any progress. And so while we look into this study and I reflect on my life, and I wonder sometimes to myself, how did we get here? How did we end up achieving multiple 7 figures annually? It would have been an unimaginable number way back. My former self would be very happy with what we've managed to achieve. And my entire life has been example after example of being inconsistent and quitting things. I've been a perpetual procrastinator my entire life. So it left me really curious, how did we accomplish so much when my natural instinct isn't to follow through? Because I know so many of you feel the same way. I speak with you guys week in and week out, and you're cursed with the exact same human nature, which is that you give up on things quickly. And we were able to identify a study that had been conducted where it showed that only 10% of people who have an idea or a goal actually follow through with it, whereas 25% of the time you're actually likely to complete your goal if you commit to yourself. If you simply say, this is something I'm going for, versus just having the idea. So you've got to start by committing to yourself. You become your own accountability partner. But here's where things start to get really interesting. You can increase that number from 25 to 40% likelihood of completion by just simply committing to yourself and creating a timeline. Put a deadline for yourself. It's very important. And you'll improve that number by an additional 10%, all the way to a 50% likelihood of completion if you put a timeline to it and you build out a plan. Now, 50% is good, but it's certainly not great. Where you're really going to get results is by improving that 50% likelihood to 65% by simply committing to others. And this is why I've told you guys over and over, you've got to commit to others. Don't be afraid to verbalize your intentions and your goals. You'll have haters. You're going to have people that are trying to discourage you. You're going to have people who have tried what you've tried and have failed. that try and steer you off course, and you've got to hold strong. You've got to find people that are a part of that community who have achieved success with what you're doing, and surround yourself with people who can inspire you and to encourage you. Now, if you want to get to a 95% chance of completion of your ideas and goals, then you're going to have to get yourself a coach and a mentor. And this is why I was able, with a decade worth of procrastination, putting off practicing, jump to second chair cellist in the Boulder Youth Symphony as one of the youngest participating members in the symphony, because I constantly had somebody there pushing me. I had that accountability partnership, not just somebody I committed to and told my plan to and told my timeline to, but somebody that actually set aside time to spend with me on a regular basis, where we set a schedule and we actually had homework assignments I was expected to complete. Because even if I put it off until the last minute, I was able to get it done prior to my meeting. I don't deserve 7 figures a year more than you do. We're not different in terms of our intellectual levels. You are just as capable as I am. The difference is I have people that I am committed to, that I do not want to let down, and I'm far more willing to let myself down than I am them. And that's the most interesting thing about this, is that we're afraid to let other people down more than we're afraid to let ourselves down. I know I'm not alone on this. I know that there are exceptions to that rule, and I wish I was the exception. But I'm not, and maybe you're not either. And if you're not the exception, it's okay. It just means that you have to accept that and stop being so damn scared of having coaches to hold you capable, to be the wind in your sail. But we need that push, folks. As humans, we need that push. And I hope that you'll do what it takes to surround yourself with people that are willing to give you the push that you need to get to the level that you deserve to be at.